What's up, y'all? This is Craig, and today I will be reviewing the movie Highest to Lowest. It's directed by Spike Lee and it stars Denzel Washington. And then if you follow the news with this movie, it has some cast members that you'll recognize, like Ice Spice, A$AP Rocky, but we'll get to them in like a few. So this is basically a retelling of the movie High and Low by Akira Kurosawa's High and Low. It's based off a novel, King Ransom. So this is basically a retelling, a remake of that. But I've never, watched that movie, which I should, because people are telling me it's really good, and it's based off the book, which I didn't read. But what I do know is this movie is basically about Denzel being a music producer. He's at his end of the road. He wants to make sure he owns most of his stuff as a music producer, and in the meanwhile his son gets kidnapped, and that's basically the premise of the movie without me spoiling what's going on. So what do I think about this movie? Well, let me just say Spike Lee is one of the best directors of all time. Even though I'm not really into the movies, I feel like I should, because I watch most of his movies. I watch Malcolm X, I watch Inside Man, I watched Black Klansman, which was probably 5 years ago or whatever, and that was pretty good. I watched He Got Game. So most of the stuff had Denzel in it, and it's pretty much good. And the most interesting thing about this movie, well, let me just start by saying Denzel is an all-time great. He's phenomenal in this movie as this producer, and they go deep into his thought process when things get tough, and when he's up against the wall, you'll recognize who he truly is, and not the facade that he puts as this producer that everyone knows and loves from the public and social media and all that. So he gave a really good performance. Also, I forgot to mention Jeffrey Wright is in this, and he's like a bodyguard sorta to Denzel Washington, and he is great in this. At some point, he put out more of a good performance than Denzel at certain points of the movie, and he was highly entertaining, and I like watching him. Also, Spike Lee with his direction, I say for the most part it's pretty good, but sometimes, which I'll get to with my negatives, he gets to his Spike Lee-isms, which can definitely work and is very dynamic to the movie, but at the same time, it's like, what? This doesn't make sense. Why is this here? This is not appropriate. I don't know, but that's just me. But for the most part, I really like Spike Lee direction in this. This movie is truly, in my personal opinion, overall, it's about age and how at a certain point you can be at the top and be good at your craft for a many number of years, but at a certain point you have to give up and give the spotlight to the next person that becomes the next Denzel, the next Spike Lee, any other type of entertainment, because that will help the process of entertainment, politics, sports, anything. But the problem is we have these older folks that were at the top for so long that they for some reason can't give up what they have and won't let the process happen, overall, with all these, entertainment stuff going on, all the sports stuff going on, all the politician stuff going on. And you see it right now throughout everything that you are involved with. We see it with sports. LeBron James is 40 years old. He about to be 41. Usually when you're a basketball player, you retire at 35, 36, whatever. But we have these basketball players like LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, still at the top of their game and refuse to retire. And you don't see any big time young player. They try it with Shea. To get to the point, right? Age is a big factor when it comes to this movie and its message. And I'm gonna get to my negative, but overall, I thought it was interesting that Spike Lee went with that point of view with this movie, involving Denzel as this producer, and the way everything flowed throughout the movie. And it makes sense why he would cast Denzel, because he's perfectly casted, and that's what makes the performance so great. Also, besides the age stuff, They talk about, for the most part, what would you do if you're back against the wall and everything is in chaos. Like, who are you really? Who truly is your truth, right? Are you the person that's happy-go-lucky, has this family, and is all about caring about the next person? Or are you really this cold person that wants to invest in your own interests instead of helping another person? And I'm not gonna go any further because it will be a little bit of a spoiler. But I like the themes. Well, I'm not me liking the themes, but I'm interested in the themes that Spike Lee puts out in this movie. I enjoyed the performances from Denzel, Jeffrey Wright, and Spike Lee direction for the most part, in my opinion, was very good in this movie. Now, the negatives with this movie is, unfortunately, Denzel, Jeffrey Wright, I'll say the son Denzel has was really good. I remember him from Cloak and Dagger. He's a really good actor. He played Trey King, Denzel's son. He was really good. But the rest of the acting was pretty bad, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. They have his wife here. No offense to her. She's very beautiful, I will say that. But the acting felt like Tyler Perry play type of acting. Like, it was very bad, man. It was very bad. And at parts of the movie, it was like distracting. She had to convey some emotion, and usually when actors cry in movies, it feels authentic and you feel the emotion of the scene. Here, it's more like you know how somebody cries and then look back just to make sure he actually crying. That's how it felt when she was having to put emotion in the movie. I'm like, oh my goodness, man, I don't know, this is pretty bad. And then, like, she kept talking, and then it got even more distracting because the more lines they give her, the more it stands out how, not good she is in the movie. And I felt bad because I didn't want to, like, say anything about it, but I had to tell my truth. It was very bad. A$AP Rocky, I'm not going to say what he does in the movie, but what I will say is his music was good at a point. Like, I really like his A$AP Rocky's first album that he put out, like, in 2012. But now, look, Drake, I'm bringing up Drake in this review. Drake dissed A$AP Rocky saying you should be modeling or something. And I'm not gonna lie, man, he should still model, bro. He has a song in the soundtrack that I just don't like. Maybe I'm missing something, but I just don't like the music. It's very repetitive. It's just like whatever, and they kept playing throughout the movie. I was like, oh my God, they keep playing this song. I get it, it's part of the movie, but it's like, damn. And then another thing, right? I don't want to spoil it. All right, this is not a spoiler, but here's the thing. Remember when I talked about age earlier in this video? It especially comes to music. Now, with the music, I will say this without spoiling it. It is the antithesis of Sinners. Sinners embraced everything. It embraced every type of music genre that you ever heard of. It embraced all the music that black people have, committed with the genre, with rap, with R&B, with the traditions, with, Africa, all that. But here, they make rap like it's poison or whatever. Like, oh, this is not real music. This is not it. This is real music. This is what we need to hear. And I felt a certain way because it's like, what you mean, like, rap is not real music? What you mean that rap today is not, something that should be listened to? I get the AI stuff going on, and I agree with that. But for the most part, that's a part of the culture. Rap is a part of that. Even the negative stuff, I really want to get into why I felt a certain way about it and how they presented it, but I can't do that without spoiling. So what I will say is they put rap in a bad light here, and I just disagree with it. But overall, the movie was pretty good. I will say the first half was really slow, and you feel it towards the end of the second, like before the second half comes in, but it didn't bother me at all. But it did feel slow a little bit. The movie was good. I feel like it could have been better. They could have had better actors here. And sometimes I think Spike Lee picks certain actors because he watches them in like commercials or hear their music and think, I can make that person really good in this movie. And sometimes you can't. Sometimes they can't convey acting in the movie. And that's why you have producers that tell them, nah, we can't hire them because it will kind of distract the movie. But overall, I thought the movie was pretty good. I liked it. Denzel shows why he's an all-time great. Jeffrey Wright was amazing in this, and I really enjoyed myself. Also, the theater I went to was new because I never went into the Film Society theater that we have here. It felt like a like a secret society or something like that, because once you go inside the theater, they have like a little escalator that you go in, and they have snacks and stuff on the side, and then the other theaters that you would think will be small, but they're pretty big compared to other, AMCs and stuff that I went to before. But that's just all that extra stuff that I had going on. But overall, the movie was pretty good. I enjoyed myself. And if you are like an older dude, like if you're like really late 30s, 40 plus, you will enjoy this movie so much because it is for you. Okay, it is very much for you. It is the most movie that you'll ever see in your life. And it makes sense because Spike Lee is in this and Denzel Washington is starring in this and is basically himself. So that's all I'll say about Highest to Lowest. I highly recommend it to y'all. So check it out. I'll see y'all later. Peace.